Zimbabweans are capable of spearheading game-changing, first-of-a-kind innovations.
What if I told you that a new innovation is coming to view, and it might downright destroy the entire auto industry as we know it? An invention so disruptive that even Elon Musk himself is said to be deeply concerned.
I did not expect that. We work harder.
It's a game changer, a technology no one saw coming, and it's coming from a place you'd least expect. What is it? Who is behind it? And why could it spell disaster for the biggest automakers in the world? Let's find out. The giant. Something groundbreaking is happening in Zimbabwe that could change everything we know about the auto industry. A revolutionary self-powering car has emerged, and Elon Musk himself has spoken about its potential to disrupt the entire industry. But before we get to that, let's first understand why Elon's words carry so much weight in the world of technology and innovation. Elon was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa, and from a young age, he displayed an intense curiosity and a penchant for technology. At just 12 years old, he taught himself computer programming and created a video game called Blaster, which he sold to a computer magazine. In pursuit of greater opportunities, Elon moved to the United States to attend the University of Pennsylvania, where he earned degrees in both physics and economics. His academic background laid the foundation for his future endeavors, blending technical expertise with a keen understanding of business dynamics. Elon's entrepreneurial journey began with Zip2, a company he co-founded in 1996. Zip2 provided business directories and maps for newspapers, essentially functioning as an early version of an online Yellow Pages. Despite initial challenges, the company secured contracts with major players like the New York Times and Chicago Tribune. In 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for approximately more than $300 million, netting Elon $22 million from the sale. Not one to rest on his laurels, he co-founded X.com later that year, an online financial services and email payment company. X.com soon merged with Confinity, which had developed a money transfer service called PayPal. Recognizing the potential of online payments, Elon and his team focused their efforts on PayPal, which rapidly gained popularity. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock, earning Elon more than $150 million. So, Elon's early ventures showcased his ability to identify and capitalize on emerging technological trends. With Zip2, he anticipated the shift towards online information dissemination, and with PayPal, he foresaw the rise of digital payments. These successes were not merely about financial gain, they reflected Elon's broader vision of leveraging technology to solve complex problems and improve human life. Central to Elon's approach is his belief in radical innovation. He is known for tackling ambitious projects that many deem impossible, driven by a desire to push the boundaries of what's achievable. The billionaire emphasizes the importance of focusing on the product itself rather than being preoccupied with competitors. He has stated that it is sort of like the old adage of running. Don't look at the competition, it's not the thing that matters. Elon's approach involves identifying industries resistant to change and introducing disruptive technologies. This strategy is evident in his ventures such as SpaceX, which aims to revolutionize space travel, and Neuralink, which seeks to develop advanced brain-computer interfaces. By challenging the status quo, Elon has positioned himself as a catalyst for significant industry transformations. Perhaps the most notable example of his disruptive influence is Tesla. Founded in 2003, Tesla set out to prove that electric vehicles could outperform their gasoline counterparts. Under his leadership, in 2008, Tesla introduced the Roadster, a high-performance sports car that shattered preconceived notions about EV capabilities. Building on this success, Tesla released the Model S sedan, Model X SUV, and the more affordable Model 3 and Model Y, making electric vehicles accessible to a broader market. Tesla's innovations extended beyond vehicles. The company developed advanced battery technology and expanded into energy storage solutions like the Powerwall. The company's impact on the auto industry has been staggering. By demonstrating that electric cars can be desirable and practical, Tesla has accelerated the industry's shift toward electrification. Traditional automakers have been compelled to invest heavily in EV technology to remain competitive. Tesla's direct-to-consumer sales model and over-the-air software updates have also challenged conventional dealership and maintenance practices. Despite the success, Tesla has faced resistance from established automakers and industry stakeholders. Challenges have included skepticism about the viability of electric vehicles, regulatory hurdles, and attempts to block Tesla's direct sales approach. Be it as it may, Tesla's persistence has forced the industry to evolve, leading to a more widespread adoption of electric vehicles. Elon maintains a detailed account of competition and innovation. While he focuses on advancing his own company's technologies, he remains aware of emerging competitors. For instance, he has acknowledged the impressive performance of Chinese automaker BYD, noting that their cars are fabulous. But nothing from the past can even be compared to what he said about Zimbabwe's new gen of self-powering cars. Still, if we want to truly understand why Elon's words matter, we need to take a closer look at how cars have evolved from their humble beginnings to the cutting-edge technology we see today. The evolution. The car has undergone an extraordinary transformation since its inception, evolving from steam-powered contraptions in the 18th century to sophisticated, self-driving electric vehicles today. The earliest experiments in self-propelled vehicles date back to the 18th century. In fact, French inventor Nicolas-Joseph Cugnot built one of the first recorded steam-powered vehicles in 1769. His creation, a three-wheeled military tractor designed for transporting artillery, was slow, bulky, and difficult to control. It had a top speed of just 2.5 mph and required frequent stops to reheat the boiler. Despite its limitations, Cugnot's invention proved that mechanically powered vehicles were possible. Over the next century, engineers in Britain and the United States continued experimenting with steam-driven road vehicles. Richard Trevithick, a British engineer, built a steam-powered carriage in 1801, while American inventors such as Oliver Evans developed amphibious steam-powered vehicles. However, steam-powered cars faced major obstacles. They were slow to start, required massive water reservoirs, and were prone to overheating. While steam-powered vehicles struggled with practicality, inventors turned to internal combustion engines as an alternative. The breakthrough came in 1885 when Carl Benz, a German engineer, developed the Benz patent motor wagon, widely regarded as the world's first true car. This three-wheeled vehicle used a single-cylinder four-stroke engine, producing 0.75 horsepower and reaching speeds of 10 mph. This was a game-changer. Unlike steam-powered vehicles, it could start almost instantly and did not require a long warm-up period. This marked the beginning of the gasoline-powered auto revolution, paving the way for widespread car production. In the early 20th century, automobiles were still luxury items, available only to the wealthy. That changed in 1908, when Henry Ford introduced the Model T, a durable, reliable, and affordable auto. Then came Ford's moving assembly line. Introduced in 1913, it drastically reduced the time required to build a car, from 12 hours down to 93 minutes. This innovation not only made automobiles more accessible, but also revolutionized industrial manufacturing across multiple sectors. By 1927, Ford had produced over 15 million Model Ts, making the car a symbol of American progress and mobility. For the first time in history, the average family could own a vehicle, reshaping city planning, suburban growth, and even social interactions. With the success of mass production, gasoline-powered cars became the dominant mode of transportation throughout the 20th century. Automakers such as General Motors, Chrysler, and Mercedes-Benz built vehicles that could travel farther and faster than ever before. Innovations like electric starters, improved braking systems, and automatic transmissions made cars more user-friendly and efficient. By the mid-1900s, gasoline cars had become an essential part of modern life, driving economic growth and cultural transformation worldwide. Road networks expanded, gas stations became commonplace, and cars became symbols of status, freedom, and mobility. Despite their convenience, gasoline-powered cars introduced new challenges. The burning of fossil fuels led to air pollution, contributing to smog in major cities and global climate change. By the 1970s, concerns over oil dependency emerged, particularly after the 1973 oil crisis, when OPEC, or the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, reduced oil exports, causing fuel shortages and skyrocketing prices. These issues prompted automakers and researchers to explore alternatives to gasoline-powered vehicles, laying the groundwork for the electric vehicle resurgence in the decades to come. But here's the kicker. Few people realize that electric cars once rivaled gasoline-powered vehicles. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, EVs were actually more popular than gasoline cars. By 1900, electric cars accounted for nearly 40% of all automobiles in the United States. They were quiet, easy to drive, and did not require hand cranking like gasoline cars. However, they had a limited range and lacked an extensive charging infrastructure. With the rise of mass-produced gasoline cars and the discovery of cheap oil reserves, electric cars fell out of favor. By the 1930s, they had all but disappeared. For much of the 20th century, electric cars remained a niche concept. However, in the 1990s, concerns over air pollution, climate change, and oil dependency led to renewed interest. Companies like General Motors introduced experimental models such as the EV1, but they were short-lived due to high costs and lack of infrastructure. The real turning point came in 2003, when Elon Musk and a group of engineers founded Tesla Motors, aiming to prove that EVs could be fast, stylish, and practical. In 2008, the company launched the Roadster, the first production electric car with a range of over 200 miles per charge. The company followed with the Model S, Model X, Model 3, and Model Y, making EVs more accessible to the general public. Tesla's success forced legacy automakers to take electric cars seriously, leading to a surge in EV production worldwide. Now, the next big thing is autonomous driving. Companies like Tesla, Google's Waymo, and General Motors are investing billions into self-driving AI, LiDAR sensors, and machine learning to create vehicles that can navigate without human intervention. Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving software, better known as the FSD, are already redefining transportation, though fully autonomous cars remain a work in progress. Alongside autonomy, the quest for energy independence is undoubtedly shaping the future of transportation. Innovations like solid-state batteries, hydrogen fuel cells, and solar-powered vehicles are being developed to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. But innovation doesn't happen everywhere at the same pace. While the West was pioneering gasoline and electric vehicles, something very different was happening in Zimbabwe. And that's where things get really interesting. a struggle for innovation. For starters, you should know that Zimbabwe's journey in the automotive sector reflects a complex interplay of colonial legacies, economic challenges, and a resilient pursuit of innovation. From early reliance on European imports to contemporary strides in electric vehicle technology, the nation shows adaptation and aspiration. During the colonial era, Zimbabwe, then known as Southern Rhodesia, saw its auto landscape shaped predominantly by European imports. British brands like Morris became household names, facilitated by local dealerships such as Puze and Payne, which specialized in these imports. Cars during this period were symbols of status and modernity, primarily accessible to the colonial elite. While the infrastructure, including road networks, was developed to support these vehicles, reinforcing the dominance of European automotive culture. Yet the colonial administration's policies favored imports over local manufacturing, establishing a pattern of dependency that would persist post-independence. This reliance on foreign vehicles and parts hindered the development of indigenous automotive industries, leaving Zimbabwe without a robust foundation for local car production. Post-independence, Zimbabwe faced significant economic and political upheavals that adversely affected industrial growth. Hyperinflation, international sanctions, and policy inconsistencies deterred investment and stifled manufacturing sectors, including car production. The absence of a substantial local automotive industry led to a heavy reliance on imported vehicles, particularly second-hand cars. While these imports provided affordable transportation options, they posed challenges for local assemblers who couldn't compete on price, leading to concerns about the viability of domestic production. Adding to the problem was the fact that Zimbabwe's dependence on imported petroleum products made it vulnerable to fuel shortages, often resulting in long queues and inflated prices. These challenges stressed the need for alternative transportation solutions that could mitigate reliance on imported fuels. Despite challenges, Zimbabwe made efforts to establish local assembly plants. Companies like Willowvale Motor Industries assembled vehicles under license from international manufacturers. However, these initiatives often struggled due to economic constraints and competition from cheaper imports. You should also know that nowadays, all across Africa, there's a growing interest in electric vehicles as a sustainable transportation solution. In Zimbabwe, particularly, startups like Mobility for Africa have introduced electric tricycles, empowering rural women by providing affordable and eco-friendly transportation options. These tricycles, available through lease-to-purchase programs, have improved mobility and economic participation in rural communities. The sheer abundance of sunlight in Zimbabwe, we must all agree, presents an opportunity for solar-powered transportation. While still in nascent stages, there have been explorations into harnessing solar energy for vehicles, aiming to create sustainable and self-sufficient transportation systems that reduce dependence on imported fuels. Zimbabwe's infrastructural challenges, including inconsistent electricity supply and underdeveloped charging networks, require innovative solutions. Vehicles that can operate independently of traditional fuel and charging infrastructures would address these issues, offering reliable transportation in both urban and rural settings. If you think about it, embracing renewable energy is crucial for the continent's transportation sector. Innovations like self-powering vehicles, which utilize alternative energy sources such as radio frequencies, could revolutionize mobility in Zimbabwe and across Africa. These advancements promise not only environmental benefits, but also economic empowerment by reducing fuel import bills and fostering local industries. Now Zimbabwe is on the verge of something that could make history, a self-powering car that has even caught Elon Musk's attention. But why would that bother Elon so much? Well, here's the thing. While Zimbabwe's road to automotive success has been filled with obstacles, Tesla has been leading the charge for electric and self-sustaining vehicles. However, Africa, as a continent, has a rather unique approach to energy itself. Unique approach. As I have already mentioned, Africa's vast and diverse landscapes are not only rich in culture and history, but also abundant in natural resources that position the continent as a potential leader in sustainable energy innovation. With expansive deserts receiving relentless sunlight, extensive coastlines exposed to consistent winds, and numerous rivers offering hydroelectric potential, Africa possesses the essential ingredients for a green energy revolution. Despite these favorable conditions, the continent has historically lagged behind in harnessing renewable energy. Over the past 2 decades, Africa has attracted just 2% of global investments in renewables, a strikingly small figure considering its immense potential. However, this narrative is changing rapidly as Africa begins to unlock its renewable energy capabilities. According to the International Energy Agency, Africa is home to 60% of the world's best solar resources, yet it accounts for merely 1% of installed solar photovoltaic or PV capacity worldwide. This stark contrast highlights an enormous opportunity for growth. Recognizing this untapped potential, numerous initiatives are underway to bridge the gap. Projections indicate that by 2030, renewables could constitute over 80% of new power generation capacity in Africa, with solar PV leading the charge as the most cost-effective power source across the continent. Nations such as Morocco, South Africa, and Kenya have already made significant strides in expanding solar energy infrastructure, setting an example for the rest of the region. Morocco, for example, is home to the Noor Ouarzazate Solar Complex, one of the world's largest concentrated solar power plants. This project not only supplies clean energy to millions, but also serves as a blueprint for large-scale solar development in Africa. Other countries, including Ethiopia and Namibia, are following suit, aiming to develop their own large-scale solar projects to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. One of the biggest barriers to electrification in Africa is the lack of grid infrastructure. Over 600 million people in sub-Saharan Africa still lack access to electricity, making decentralized energy systems a crucial alternative to traditional power grids. Companies like NG Energy Access, M-Copa, and D-Light are addressing this challenge by deploying off-grid solar power models that provide affordable and reliable electricity to rural communities. These systems not only illuminate homes, but also power essential services, such as hospitals, schools, and small businesses, fostering economic growth and improving the quality of life. Beyond home electrification, off-grid solutions are transforming entire industries. In Zimbabwe, the integration of solar-powered electric tricycles has revolutionized rural transportation. The Mobility for Africa initiative provides rural women with electric tricycles through a lease-to-purchase program, enabling them to take part in economic activities, transport goods, and reach remote areas with ease. This innovation has given women greater financial independence while simultaneously reducing reliance on fossil fuels. Agriculture remains the backbone of many African economies, and renewable energy is playing a vital role in improving productivity. One of the biggest challenges farmers face is water access, with many relying on inconsistent rainfall and expensive diesel-powered irrigation systems. Kenya-based startup SunCulture has pioneered solar-powered irrigation systems, providing smallholder farmers with an affordable, sustainable way to water their crops. With over $40 million in funding, SunCulture has distributed thousands of solar pumps, significantly boosting agricultural yields and reducing costs for farmers. Similar initiatives are gaining traction across Africa as governments and private enterprises recognize the importance of energy-efficient farming. The integration of solar irrigation, cold storage powered by renewables, and electric agricultural machinery is expected to play a key role in enhancing food security while cutting emissions. Despite the optimism surrounding Africa's renewable energy revolution, there are still some hurdles. One major issue is electronic waste. The increasing adoption of off-grid solar products has led to a surge in discarded solar panels and battery systems, many of which have a lifespan of less than 4 years. Without proper waste management and recycling systems, Africa risks replacing one environmental problem with another. To address this, organizations are developing recycling programs and advocating for more durable, repairable solar technology. Companies like SolarAid have launched initiatives to collect and safely dispose of old solar lamps while promoting longer-lasting alternatives. Another critical challenge is energy storage. Since renewable sources like solar and wind are intermittent, efficient storage solutions are needed to ensure a consistent power supply. The good news is that Africa's battery storage capacity has been expanding significantly since 2023, while the projected annual growth rate of 22% in battery storage capacity is expected to push stored power reserves to 83 gigawatts by 2030, reducing the continent's dependence on fossil fuel backups. The development of advanced battery technology, including lithium-ion and solid-state batteries, will be essential in making renewable energy truly reliable. One of Africa's greatest strengths is its ability to develop localized energy solutions that cater to its unique challenges. Initiatives such as Smart Energy Solutions for Africa focus on decentralized renewable energy, innovative energy storage, and waste-to-energy systems, all tailored to the continent's specific needs. Unlike traditional energy models, which often require massive infrastructure investments, Africa's decentralized approach allows for faster, more flexible implementation. Communities can develop microgrids, store surplus solar energy in battery banks, and generate power from organic waste, reducing dependency on centralized grids. And what many don't know is that Africa's emphasis on self-sufficiency and innovation has paved the way for some of the most groundbreaking technological advancements in renewable energy. One of the most fascinating developments is the self-powered car, an invention that could revolutionize the global automotive industry. The future in hands. At the center of this technological breakthrough is Sangolani Chikumbutso, a Zimbabwean innovator who has reportedly developed a self-sustaining vehicle that does not require fuel, batteries, or external charging. Instead, this revolutionary car is said to harness electromagnetic waves and radio frequencies to generate power, enabling it to operate independently of conventional energy sources. Now, many have questioned the feasibility of this invention, as it seemingly defies mainstream scientific understanding of energy conservation. But insiders who have seen the prototype firsthand insist that the technology is real. Of course, it didn't take very long before the global auto industry took notice, and according to sources close to Elon Musk himself, the Tesla CEO has been made aware of Sangolani's innovation and has even expressed concerns over the potential disruption this car could cause. When asked about what the billionaire said, insiders all quoted Elon Musk. Zimbabwe's new generation self-powering cars will destroy the entire industry. The statement is a bold acknowledgement of the impact such a breakthrough could have, not just on Tesla, but on every major automaker investing billions in electric vehicle infrastructure. A world where cars no longer require charging stations or fuel would render fossil fuel industries, EV battery plants, and charging networks obsolete, which would then trigger a massive economic shift. One of the billionaire's close friends also shared that they all have the same thought in mind. If someone doesn't stop Zimbabwe now, Elon will lose everything he worked for in Tesla. So, in the end, despite all the skepticism and secrecy surrounding the project, one thing is clear. If Chikumbutso's invention is proven viable and mass-produced, Zimbabwe could easily become the epicenter of a new industrial revolution. With powerful players like Tesla, Toyota, and Volkswagen watching closely, what do you think? Will the world embrace this revolutionary technology or try to suppress it? Let us know in the comments.